Good morning. Hope you have heard or we are continuing with Happy Sunday. Welcome to my YouTube channel for today. My name is Victor Sande. I am a counselor psychologist by profession. I'm also a medical lab technologist and a Billings ovulation method teacher. Today, I want to drift away from the Billings ovulation method so that we can talk about families. I find it justice and valuable today to talk about this topic regarding broken families. We understand that if we have broken families, eventually we will have broken men and men outside. And these are men and women, we expect them to form up a family in marriage. What will happen? The outcomes, even today, we can actually be able to see what is really happening in our families, within our families. When you open up the social platforms, when you listen, hear news, we hear a lot of sad news, some of them heartbreaking, such as murder, committing of suicide, children whom God has given us. What do we expect from them when they grow up? Today, we are happy and joyous when our children are still young, but it becomes a puzzle for us to solve when they grow past the adolescent stage or even during the adolescent stage. And we tend to blame them and we say, this generation of today, forgetting it is the parents of today that we are making the families, that we are the one that we are responsible to make these men and women whom they are. It is our responsibility, and we will be accountable to God one day. I work in a rehab. I see our young children, our young men and boys being affected by drugs and substance abuse. Mind you, this is just a drop in the ocean. How many people, how many youths do we have them? That some, even parents, we have given up. And we say, the children of today, but it is not the children of today. Even look at how even men and women who are in marriage, is there an example for the youths to imitate or to conform? What will they imitate today? I remember there was a time that I was giving a talk to college students about family life in preparation for them, because that period is very important for them to be taught and to be guided on courtship. Some said marriage is a scam. I ask, why do you say marriage is a scam? And one of them was bold enough to tell me, Malim, look at what is happening in our families today. Between wife and husband, it is quarrel every now and then. They have no peace. Divorces, separation. And they said, if this is the family that you're talking about, I will rather be single than being in a family. That is what I'm expecting to be or to be done unto me. And when I reflected on what the student gave me that answer, I said, yes, indeed, partially, it is true. Even as a counselor psychologist, most of the issues that I handle, even drug substance abuse, and any other challenging facing the youths, even the families, it's all rooted in the families. Drunkenness, drugs and substance abuse even is not among the youths, even the parent themselves, they use. We do not have time even today for our families, for our children, for our partner. It's all about money, money, money. And even that family, which is supposed to help individually to grow, to be nurtured in the right way, already the environment that they create is unconducive. In families today, lies everywhere, cheating, lack of commitment, insecurity. All those is what today we are facing in many families. Even those that you might imagine, you can't imagine, these were the ideal families. But what is happening? It is just a time ticking. And you ask, where did the rain start to beat us? And that is what today I want to give my overview, my point of view, that after analyzing and doing little research about that, I came to understand one. We have forgotten, majority of us, even including me. I'm married, blessed with 4 children. But also as a man, I face those challenges. But how do we handle them when those challenges they arise in our families? Some we are like ostrich. When problems occurs, we will bury our heads under the sand to pretend things are right, and actually things are not right. And that's why psychotherapy is actually needed even in the family today. And one person said, and I believe even that is the fact, it is marriage is the only institution where you are being given certificate before starting schooling. Unaambiwa soma mbele mbele. The rest is up to you. Look at other uh, institutions apart from the family. Look at the priesthood, sisterhood, all others. Before they reach that particular point, how many years do they take before they profess or they take an oath? It is several years, but for the family. And remember, in the family, these are two people who have come together after being brought up from a different background culture, like almost 20 years, they were not together. And remember, in psychological point of view, even it's believed, and this is a fact also, uh, the character or the personality of a person is formed 0 to 10 years. If I want to tell you who you are, just tell me your background. I will just need to know to find out your life history from the time that you are born up to the 10th year. It already will give me an overview of who you are. Now, these two people who have come together as man, as a husband and wife, They were brought from different background, culture, and you expect them to blend together and to form a journey and expect them to be successful. Yes, some will say we were succeeded, we succeed. Yes, but what is the percentage when you compare? And then the other question now, if success rate was high, what is now happening today? And that's why, even for me as a counselor psychologist, after undergoing this training of psychology, I came to realize there are more things that I need to do it in my life in order to understand the other party, to understand even myself, how I react or respond. But again, this is the fact. There is a hierarchy that today we human beings, it is out of ignorance and arrogance. We have forgotten that this institution called marriage is not ours. It belongs to God. He is the one who started this institution. And if he's the one that started this institution, what will it entail for us to succeed? It means we will need to be connected with the Creator. This institution is the first institution that was started by God Himself and is the first institution that was started in the world by God Himself. But what is happening again? Today, like Pope Francis used to say, today, the way we take family is like a problem that need to be solved instead of a life, an institution to be enjoyed and be lived. What is happening? There is a hierarchy today that I want us to discuss it. I'll give my point of view and you can analyze, reflect, and see, is this correct or not correct? But at the end, if you're genuine, you will come into an agreement with what I have analyzed. And also, I've borrowed it from Faithful House structure. But all is not lost, there is hope. This is the hierarchy. Number one, God. Number one is God. That is the hierarchy. Number one, the values that we need to have in our family. God should be the first priority, followed by couple. Third, children. Fourth, work. Fifth, others, including the others includes parents, relatives, and others. Let us see if you as an individual or as a family, you are living according into these values, or you have just flipped the script. God should be the first priority in our lives, in our families, at individual levels and at family levels, before even we talk about church. God, as the founder of the family, is He the first priority in our family? Whenever I have catechism or teachings about family life, I ask couple or individual about that. People will say, yes, God is my first priority. We always give first priority to our family, even in my own family, even in my own life. Then I ask, good, like today's gospel. When the lawyer asked Jesus, what should I do in order to inherit the kingdom of God? Jesus told him, do you follow the commandments? And the lawyer says, what? Yes, I do. And Jesus said, yes, that's good. But there's one thing that you need to do more. And that's what to me, even I put a question onto you as an individual. You have said God is the first priority. But let me ask a question. When was the last time that you prayed as an individual, if not during food? Yes, some said, yes, I prayed even today. In a week's time, in a span of a week, how many times did you have conversation with God? Somebody say, oh, I'm always busy. I can't be able to read, I can't be able to pray. But I ask, in 24 hours, you have good 24 hours in a day. What God needs is just little time to have a dialogue, a conversation with Him. But we say, we are busy, 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 busy. A generation. Busy, in fact, even without families. Busy looking for money. That money, which even will not help you. You are just looking for, even buying even a matoma for yourself. It's difficult. And you're saying you are busy. Yes. You said God is the first priority. When was the last time that you opened the Bible and read and listen to the voice of God speaking to you in the Bible, with the Bible? Ama Biblia zetu siku hizi ziko na vumbi, tumeziwacha, zimekuwa na vumbi, ziko na vumbi zingine. Yes, for the Catholics, you have a rosary. If those who have, and if you don't have, that's a challenge also I'm giving to you. You wear the rosary. You walk with the rosary, putting it in your pocket. Do you pray the rosary? Do you pray the rosary as an individual, as a family? When was the last time that you walked with Mother Mary through the rosary? All the mysteries that you have gone through the mystery, from the joyful up to the, we have joyful mystery, sorrowful mystery, luminous mystery, and the next today, what are we having? Matendo ya utukufu. That is the summary of the whole gospel. But when was the last time that you prayed the rosary? And the rosary, we are supposed to pray on daily basis because it helps us to contemplate about the birth, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ through the Mother Mary. Do we participate in the church activities? Do we go for jumuias? Or jumuia tuliachia wamama na watoto? But today, even I'm not surprised to see even women who are not going to jumuia. Do we teach our children? Do we have even time as parents to teach our children about God, about the history of salvation, like the stories of Abraham, Samson? Like when I was young, My mother, she's a catechist, Christine Rima. Whatever today I have, I attribute it to her and my father, Augustine Sande. Part of me today is because of them. I owe them a lot, even including my own characters, my personality. These are the parents that they taught to me about God, about praying, with their lives, how they lived their lives. I remember sometimes our mother used to have time to read for us, telling us this, narrating to us the stories of salvation, the story of Samson, Moses, all this. And it was very enjoyable. In fact, that is what even motivated me to go and try to become a priest. Eventually, God called me to this other side. I remember when I was in seminary, when I was in propedeutic here in seminary, after reflecting and meditating about my life to the priesthood life, I came into conclusion this was not the call that God has called me. I think there's something different that God is calling me to serve Him, but not in this particular channel. I remember talking to even one of my parish priest. I talked to him about that, and he told me, Victor, why do you want to leave seminary? And yet I can see there's something good in you that you can make a good priest. But I challenged him and asked, whom do you think they are needed in the family? Even in families, we need good people too. And Father, sorry, I have reflected, I have meditated, and this is my conclusion. And today I am in family, and I'm happy because God has given me an opportunity to serve people through the family life. Despite being a medical lab technologist, being a psychologist, and a Billings of Relation Method teacher. Now, if we as parents, we do not create time for God, what happens? Then there's something else that we profess who is not God. Unconsciously. Consciously, we might say, yes, we love God, we do this and this. But remember, even in the Old Testament, when the Israelites were pretending to love God and to talk to Him, God said, these people, they love me with their mouths, but their hearts are very far from me. They are far from me. Now, this is the time that we in the family, we need to meditate. Now, apart from now that generalization or general responsibility, me as individually, I also need to ask myself as Victor, what is my relationship with my God? Because like I've said earlier, we were brought up from different backgrounds, coming together to live this holy union together. But we have our own identity and personality, which they cannot at any particular time become one personality. And that is the good thing about being unique, because through that, it brings creativity in the family rather than boredom. Now, if you're coming from different backgrounds, maybe you find that your partner, in terms of spirituality, is not that okay. Even yours, maybe it's not okay. That is the time that I'm saying it's important to be able to improve your own relationship with your God at an individual level first. Because humana, you will not just look at the other party as an individual, but as an image created in God. who deserve mercy, forgiveness, and patience. When it comes to the point that we have improved our relationship with God and it at an individual level, then we will be able to understand this institution called marriage or family is not ours. It belongs to God. Remember, there's a saint that I liked her so much when I was young, and it was through my parents that they helped me to love this saint. She was known as Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta. She used to say, the children that you parents you have been given by God, they do not belong to you, they belong to God. They have been given on your behalf by God to raise them up. Practically, this is the reality that I came to discover. We are the gifts from God. Our children are gifts God has given us. When these children are young, we are happy to have them around. We play with them, we chat with them, we do almost everything together as a family, and we enjoy. When they enter school, that particular time, it keeps on decreasing time by time. When they enter into secondary, some of us, in fact, which according to me, taking our kids to boarding school at standard 4. Mm-mm. For me, even psychologically, one of the psychologists alikuwa anaitwa Sigmund Freud used to say he will not even advise or advocate even for his own dog to be taken to boarding school. Remember, this psychologist, he was even taken to boarding school at a younger age. But why did he say that? It's because of what he experienced. Like I've said earlier, our personality are being formed from the first year up to the 10th year. That is our personality. And you have gone to school with this. And who are the people that they need to assist an individual to grow? First responsibility that has been given is for us parents. But today, what have we done? We've handed it over to our mates, to our teachers. We think what we can do best for them is to provide them for food and paying for them their fees. But let me warn you, for the one who's watching, let me warn you, I have passed through bad experiences in this chair as a psychologist, offering psychotherapy to parents whom they were absentees during the lives of their children. They thought by giving their children everything, they were just doing justice to them. I remember there was a certain mama who came crying. All her children, they were two, a girl, a lady who became lesbian, and a boy whom in university he turned out to be a drug addict. And there's nothing that mama could tell them. Whenever he talked to them, what they were saying, Mama, even us at this status, we are not happy. We are not happy in this status that we are. I didn't like to be a lesbian. I didn't like to be a drug addict. In fact, in this situation, I feel pity and guilt for myself, but there is no way I can come out from it. And it is because of your fault and dad. You were not there for us when we needed you. Right now, you talk about dad who is not here. What are you telling us? That But we are giving you material things. But Mama, we didn't need material things. We needed you. Poor Mama. And that is just one example. I have experienced a lot. Now, you see, giving materials, our presence is not there. Mother Teresa again said, the best gift you as a parent, you can give a child is to show them who God is. But today, what do we give them? Education is like everything. When it comes to catechism, mafundisho, we are not there. In fact, we say, wakienda kanisani, they will be spoiled. They will be spoiled when they go to church. What is happening now when they go to university, colleges? Youths or young who are very good, they turn out to be addicts, to be prostitutes. Some of them even drop in the university. Look at the murder that we have experienced in our countries. For the young people, especially the young ladies, where did the rain start to hit us? I go to the first value, first priority is God. If we love this God that we are talking about, let us not only love Him with our words, but let our action also prove that we love Him. Husband and wife, today, do we recognize that marriage is not our own institution? It is an institution that belongs to God. How I wish if we could understand that. We could not be playing with that institution. Today we are playing with it like the way nobody's business. We play with it left and right. Mtu anaamka asubuhi tu, mimi sikupendi na kuacha, wewe uko hivi na hivi. Unaacha nani? Whom are you living? Is that his institution? It's not my institution, it's not yours. That institution belongs to God. But that doesn't mean when you are in a relationship that there's a risk for your life, that we just stay there. No. I remember one of my lecturer, there was a time that alikuwa napenda kusema, sometimes we Christian, we mix stupidity with salvation. So do not do that. If there's threat of life, kindly don't sit there. Usifike huko Mungu ashangaa kwambia, I gave you brain to it. What did you do? But today, little things zinafanya mtu apack. Little things, criticism, correction, we do not want to be corrected. When people are being corrected, ama you correct each other, it's all about defensive mechanism, failing to take accountability and responsibility for one's mistake. Every time you always want to be on the right side, forgetting that this institution does not belong to us. And the people, ideal this institution, it is divine. But the people who are there, they're human with their weak human nature. But today, what have we done? What have we turned out to this institution? What have we turned into? A battleground between Ukraine and Russia. Missiles are being sent here and left, right. And who are these people? We are the people called Christians. Christians. It also reminds me of one of the Indian leader, alikuwa anaitwa Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi used to say, I love Jesus, but I hate his followers. When he was asked, why do you love Jesus? Is it ironically? You love Jesus, but you hate his people. He said, I hate Christians because what Jesus said and did and what was written in the scripture is totally different from what the Christians of today are doing. The Christians are doing. That's why they are totally two different things. Jesus himself and the Christians, they don't live. And remember, it was in Antioch that the Christian, that word Christian came to be. How did it come to be? When the disciples were gathered with other people, were gathering together to share and to break the word of God, they were sharing without selfishness. They loved each other and they lived like the way Christ wanted them to live. To the extent that the people said, those are the followers of Christ. Those are followers of Christ. And that's how our name came to be Christians. We were Christianized Christians. But do we live that? I am in marriage, but I have secrets. I lies everywhere. Some of the, sometimes God can expose you. There's a proverb. There's a proverb in Nigeria which says, "When the gods decide to destroy you, they first make you mad." Because some things that are happening, they are obvious in marriage, like you are cheating, lying, and something that is people can be able to see. But whenever maybe somebody tells you, even in psychotherapy, it's all defensive, using emotional manipulation, spiritual manipulation, failing to own. But what has brought us to there? Our relationship. If God was the first priority in our families at individual level, then we could have recognized this institution belongs to God. And if it belongs to God, for us to succeed, we must follow the Lord, not only with our words, but with our actions. We will need to examine our lives and reflect it and play at individual level our part and even at the family level. I don't know if you have, I know many Catholics, you have heard about is about Ilastoria, Portugal, the three young children, Lucia, Fatima, and Jacinta. When Our Lady appeared to them, what happened? There were prophecies that they were given. And one of the prophecy, that is called the last prophecy, which Mary told them, the last battle will be between family and Satan. That is God and Satan through the families. And I believe that is what actually we're experiencing today. How many types of families have they emerged today fighting this institution? We have formed laws that they go against the natural laws that the one who instituted today, we have made him crazy. We now make our own, like at the Tower of Babel. My brothers and sisters, at the point of a psychologist, I am humbly begging and asking, kindly let us re-examine our life within ourselves so that we can be able to recognize our relationship with God and where it has not been improved. Kindly let us try. Our character, our personality. Sometimes we are being blinded by being what will be right. And that is what actually is masking and then threatening even our own existential at individual level. Remember, you might find people walking, but they're just cops. If you're a driver, have you ever experienced you're on the road, but somebody is standing in the middle of the road? You horn, you put horn, but the person does not respond. People, their head are absent-minded because of stress, depression today that we have. But the good news is, let us return back to a creator. He who created and instituted that divine has the power. Let us go back to the beginning. When the Pharisees, they approached Jesus about divorce, they tried to trick Jesus by saying, Moses allowed us to do this, to divorce. We could give paper for divorce. What do you say? But Jesus, again, being God, he asked them, what was in the beginning? In the beginning, what happened? What happened? God created male and to be one thing. The origin. Let us go back to the origin. Let us go back to the Garden of Eden with humbleness. Today, our age need wisdom more than ever if we have to survive this wave of divorce, separation, suicidal thoughts, attempts. If we turn to God, then He who created this institution has the power to transform it. I understand clearly. We have couples who are separated, who have already been separated, or they are in that process. They have divorce. But please do not give up. Do not give up. Turn back to God. Turn back to God. If you have that partner whom you have tried all your best, you have been patient enough, but nothing fruitful came. Don't give up. Pray to God that who created that institution has the power. For us as human, we cannot change. Remember, even in psychology, we always say, we can try to help people change their behavior. But personality, changing of personality, it is only the Holy Spirit who can do that. Pray for them. Pray for the one who has broken your heart. Forgive. Release them from your heart. Don't imprison them. And this is the good news. This is the best way to heal physically, emotionally, psychologically, socially. And that's why I said individually, relationship with God matters. Because eventually that is, we have the ideal families. Sometimes circumstances in life, they might not be in our favor. You have been threatened. Somebody has just walked away from you. Do not give up. Stand up. Call the one who created that institution. Because if somebody has wasted your time all along, remember that institution was not yours. You'll only be given on behalf of God. What you can do, seek psychotherapy services in your churches, in hospitals. Seek help. But recognize the first priority that we have talked today is God who created heaven and earth. He is the one who has the power. Love him, like Padre Pio used to say. Pray, work, and worry less. Now, we see now, if we give priority God in our family, then we come second priority, which is God. And that is a talk for next session. Next week, I'll plan about couple. Because if you have already built the foundation, it is like now we're building a house. We have created that foundation of God, in God. Nothing will shake that foundation. Now we come to now the people who will live in that house. That is couple, that is the family. The couple. That is between man and a woman, husband and wife, who have come together to live. Followed by, after that, if God bless you with children, children should come. Third, I've said fourth is work. The fifth is others. But today, we have inverted that hierarchy. Today, what happens? Couple first. For those who are still in romance, couple first. Even today, Sundays, people have not gone to church, wameenda outing. Si ndio? Have you gone to church? If you have not gone to church, if I ask you, do you worship God? Is God first priority? If you have not gone to church, you are just there starehe, then God is not your first priority. That starehe is the first priority. That is your God. Hata ile the first commandment that says, usiabudu miungu wengine. Today we are worshiping other gods such as starehe, resting. We don't give what belongs to God. Na kesho tutakuja kulia because our hearts were created for God and our hearts will remain restless until they rest in God. That is St. Augustine. For him, he had a wonderful life, a wonderful career. He had women in the world that he wanted. He had money. He had the best career as a lawyer. But all those for him was nothing. Vanity, vanity, until he found God. Today, try that. Try and see how good the Lord is, how your marriage will be. Do not flip that couple. Wewe ni mtu wako tu. You just think about your wife, your husband, bas. Nayo, after sometimes, after the romance is over, Mungu amewabariki na mtoto. Again, the children now become first priority. Some even, they use them as a weapon in beds. Then it comes to work. Mungu tunamweka wa mwisho. And when you do that, that is what today we are suffering. That is the root cause of all our problems, according to me. We have forgotten the Creator. Like a song that I liked when I was young. I used to hear it. Mwanadamu nilikuumba kwa mfano wangu mimi, nikakupa vitu vyote, lakini umesahau kama mimi ni muumba. Mwanadamu nilikuumba kwa mfano wangu mimi, nikakuweka chini, nikakupa vitu vyote, lakini umesahau kama muumba wako. Please, let us remember God. If you have not been giving God that honor, that first chance, our God is God of mercy. Let us utilize that and return back to Him. Kindly, if I've touched you or you have any question, you need to get in touch with me. Feel free. You can comment there down. I'll give my number. or you can just even check my number there. Today evening at around 8 p.m., we have our group called NFP Natural Family Planning group in WhatsApp that we have opened. We usually have our classes for natural family planning. Today, I will have an opportunity to present to you introduction to the Billings Ovulation method, which I have already done to here, but that one will be interactive. If you have questions, you can ask. Feel free to join me. Also, likes, make a like if nimegusa mahali. I'm also a human being. Your recognition will make me to be able to produce more video like this. Thank you for your time. May God bless you. I am Victor Sande, counselor psychologist, medical lab technologist, and Billings Ovulation method. It has been my pleasure to talk to you. May God bless you. Bye bye.